Welcome, everybody!
Hey, y'all. As always, we are Soulful She. My name is Daphny Emily.
And this is Eerees.
And we are
two bodacious beauties from Brockton, unraveling our truths on identity, empowerment, fashion, and mental health through conversations from the soul.
And if you haven't noticed, we have a different setup today, so this episode is going to be real exciting. But before we get really exciting, we're going to get real quick. So Eerees, I think I went first last time.
Okay.
Or did I?
The world may never know.
That's all you.
Okay. Let's being real quick. That did not make any sense. Being real quick. I think that my thought process is going a million different little circles, but the two things that being real quick is my body hurts. I did a lot of moving yesterday, so I went to the beach with my lady friends, and we ended up playing all sorts of sports that were there, like cornhole, badminton, and volleyball. And when I tell you, I know it was the most intense volleyball game that I've been a part of in a very long time, and my booty was running to catch all the balls. and and let's just say, if you know me, or at least now that you know me, I love volleyball. Like, I love volleyball. So, like, when I play, I put in the work.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of coordination. So, like, I love volleyball, but
the ball goes that way.
I hate serving. Let's just say when I serve, I have to find my rhythm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, my body hurts because I really put in work. Like, I played to play. And then also I'm really sad because if you can tell, these are not my regular glasses. Yeah. Unfortunately, but fortunately, on Friday, I had some quality time with my brothers. We went go-kart riding, and it was very spontaneous because they were coming to drop off the dog, and then run away without letting anybody know that they were dropping off the dog. Let's just get that clear right there. But then I ran away with them, and we went go-kart riding, and I wasn't going fast, and I wasn't gonna purposely go fast, but someone bumped into me, and then my whole helmet came off and my glasses came off, and then someone bumped into them, who then bumped into me again. And so, like, the cart moved around, and basically, like, I moved forward, and in doing so, like, the pieces just
shattered.
Yeah. And then when I would ride, I would see the pieces as I'm riding around. It was just not fun.
At least you could see the pieces without your glasses on.
Yeah. So I'm wearing these. I'll be wearing these for like 14 days because they don't come till then, my new ones.
Didn't you have a second pair? I thought you got two pairs.
So I got two. I got sunglasses and regular glasses.
Okay.
I can't wear my prescription sunglasses indoors.
Yeah.
If I could, I would.
Well, I'm glad you weren't hurt, because when you were telling me, I was like, that sounds kind of painful. And another comment to that is, I would have been going hella fast. So, you know.
I definitely drifted.
Yeah, you did? That sounds so much fun. I need to go race. I need to do that.
You got something to go race?
Do you? Because I'm very competitive. And the last time I went, I was ahead of the game. I left everybody behind. They were all little kids. I don't even care, though. I was like, you gonna learn.
Wait, what?
It was like this little go-kart place. They were all mad little. And I was just like, well, y'all don't do this for a living. So I'm gonna make sure.
Okay.
I'm gonna make sure, yeah.
I can definitely go, but I wasn't referring to me, you know? I'm just,
So, I mean, we need to do that. That sounds really fun.
Okay.
Anything else?
That's all that's been running through my mind. New glasses and pain in my body.
Well, body pain, jumping into me keeping it real quick, same. I started the gym last week again.
Woo!
I'm so happy to be back. I feel so good. Other than the pain, my legs were killing me for the last few days because, my favorite leg day, I go hard.
Yes.
These legs are strong. They thick, but they strong.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just really excited to get back to that. And on Saturday, we did like shoulders and back. So my shoulders yesterday were a little rough, but we feel good today.
Nice.
I can feel my abs sometimes. Like, can't see them, but I can feel them, so they exist.
They're getting there.
You know, I don't know if you'll ever be able to see them, but I can feel them. So that's all that really matters at this point.
I get it.
Other than that, keeping it real quick, I've just been enjoying life, working a lot, but just being very happy lately and having a lot of fun with people I care about. So that's me keeping it real, really. Other than that, I just be working.
I hear you.
Just be working to be broke all over again. So, you know.
Listen, we work to pay bills.
Not for long.
Hopefully.
Nah, not for long. There's no hopeful. This is gonna happen.
Oh.
Yeah.
I like how you're assertive about what you want.
Absolutely. I mean, if that is not a quality I carry, what else?
That's true. I'd be speaking a lie. But moving forward from our usual keeping it real quick, we're moving on to conversations from the soul. And again, as you can tell, we have crystals and stones in front of us, and each of us has a little corner of our own crystals. And I would love to chat with you, Daphne, about, you know, your reasoning behind getting crystals. Why should we even be paying attention to this? And what you're hoping to get out of the use of crystals.
Right.
But we can start off with, you know, the inception of this thought.
Of us coming together to talk about them?
We can do that, but then also your inception of
like why I got into the game.
Basically.
Word. So, in terms of why we're doing the episode today, it's because you've had your stones, you've had your crystals for a while now, and I've been interested in it, but just haven't found a place I want to buy them from, or like I just didn't go really looking for them until I listened to a podcast and they talked about this article that had a lot of Black-owned businesses. So I went into that article and I realized they had a Black-owned company that sells crystals, that curates different type of crystals for people. And I was like, word, it's called Chakra Zulu. The name's amazing. Honestly, I love the name.
Yeah.
I think it's a perfect name for the company. It just sounds good. But going into the website and kind of shopping through it, it had groups of different stones and crystals that are curated for specific needs that you want in your life. Needs, wants, aspirations, however else you want to describe it, but just things that will resonate. So I did a little shopping, and I actually bought my crystals on July 7th when it was basically the blackout, like don't buy anything unless it's from a Black-owned business, and that's when I did so. Yeah, so that was a big incentive for me, and I made sure I made that jump. Now, in terms of jumping into crystals, again, I've been kind of like into it, haven't sought them out.
Yeah.
And I like to say, or I've been told, and I also like to say, that I can be kind of an empath sometimes, and just kind of getting into different spirituality and different things for healing, meditation, self-care that I really considered getting into the game. And a lot of people that I'm around have crystals and stones and swear by them, so that's how I started. Okay.
I noticed you said a word, empath. What's that?
Oh, should I look up the definition? In terms of being an empath, it's basically someone that is very aware of emotions around them, or empathy. So I like to say I'm very good at reading people, or kind of understanding people in the moment.
Yeah.
I've just done that a lot. I do it a lot. I do it all the time, and depending on how I feel around certain people, or the energies I feel around certain people, kind of reflects on how I act.
Yeah.
So I'm either like protective and kind of quiet in my corner because I'm not feeling the vibe, or I don't know the vibe very well, or like I feel comfortable around the people and I'm like, let's do this. I love you all.
Wah!
So, yeah.
Okay.
This is probably such a better definition for empath. That's just describing me.
Yeah, but it's more of like, we all find our own definitions to something and how we resonate to it.
Yeah.
You know?
Would you agree that I'm an empath?
I would agree.
Are you sure, or is because I put you on the spot in front of the camera?
Well, the thing is that like I also have an iffy relationship with empaths.
Okay.
Just because there's been so much controversy with the word behind it, and how people define themselves as that, and there's a lot of weight behind that word.
I definitely agree.
Yeah. And so, because the thing is that I, at one point, also defined myself as an empath, but then I also, like now I definitely don't. And to be honest, I can't even remember what exactly happened. Like, I just remember the feeling of having gone through that conversation or that discussion with various different people, and me feeling a switch for that word.
Yeah. I guess I do agree with you on that, and something that like some people have mentioned it to me, and I've always said, like, I like to say I'm kind of an empath, but not fully be like I'm practicing empath. Like, I definitely can tell. I don't think that at all. I think I'm just, what I usually say is just I'm a good reader of people or emotions or spaces. Oh, I just really go off of energy and vibes, but I can't say I'm an empath because I've heard the same.
Yeah.
But, you know, I like to think that I can really go off of energy. So
yeah,
I guess that's what we'll say. I'm just good with vibes.
I feel you.
So
I feel you. Well, I'll speak to my inception of crystals, but I actually don't remember when the first time I was introduced to crystals, but I've definitely been involved with just spirituality for a very long time, and I think crystals was a combination of aligning myself spiritually more, and also intuitively, if that makes sense, because I think that, like, at the end of the day, like, this is a crystal, a rock, a stone, and you put the power, you give it the power, basically. So it's not like this like has something in there that it's gonna be like, oh my god,
changing my life completely. I'm gonna be a millionaire and win the lottery.
Basically. But you give the power to the stone or to whatever, to like any piece, because I think that like even this rock that I have right here, you know, it's a random rock that I got at Michael's, but like I put a word to it, and it's more of like anytime I look at it, it's empathy and positivity, and anytime I look at it, I'm just reminded of things that I need to work on or things that I want to continue to enhance. And so I think when I began to really start paying attention to how the law of attraction really works, and intuition and reflection and writing and just meditation, this was a good form to help me remind myself of those things, if that makes sense. And so that's where it came from. And there was this little shop in Braintree that had the crystals, and so I went crystal shopping with a few of my friends, and I got some of these, and then Daphne gifted me the Sagittarius crystals, and I've been you know, using them ever since. I use the clear quartz as a cleanser for my tarot cards. So I usually keep one of these in the pouch that I wrap them in, just so that, like, you know, every time after I do a reading on somebody or I do a reading on myself, I put that in there as a sense of like cleaning the energy that was there before to bring in the new energy that's coming forward. So like I use the crystals for so many different reasons, and like even this one right here, which is a rose quartz, is a ring that someone beautifully created, and so it's a, you know, I use it for all sorts of stuff. But
and don't mind me being on my phone, I actually have like different definitions and stuff, so I just picked it up because of the cleansing one, but I can't see more info on it.
Clear quartz?
I don't think that's what it said it was. That's why I was like, let me check.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna look up well, I can't really see, but I don't think it's that.
Oh.
That's why I don't want us to be wrong. But as I search, I want us to continue, so I'm not sitting here on my phone like,
okay.
What are we doing? What are we doing? Also, selenite stick. It's selenite. For cleansing, yeah. Yeah.
Y'all, I had this wrong the whole time. This is actually a clear quartz, which if you can see, it's more transparent than selenite.
We're gonna also butcher the names of all of these because they all have very specific names that can be pronounced any which way. So at this point, like, if you get it, if you get it, if you don't, I think we can all Google it together and figure it out together.
Yeah.
But just coming in with the crystals is kind of like coming in with a different vibe of what's kind of been resonating with us, what we've been doing lately, especially in terms of self-care, and just finding a lot of peace with ourselves and different things that we're looking for within our lives, with, trying to grow and learn and be better and do better. So when I went shopping for the crystals, I was really intrigued and attracted to the different sets that she had because of a lot of them resonated with how I was feeling in for a certain time or for a while. I'll speak to, like, for me, even before quarantine, for a while, it was very much like, I hate men, don't bother me, leave me the hell alone. Like, I have friends that, like,
isn't there a song like that?
Yeah, I mean, there's probably plenty of songs like that. Because, I still feel the same way. I still feel that men ain't much of nothing, but there's levels to it. So, like, my black men, you get more love than the rest, but still ain't shit. So, I still love y'all, though.
Wait.
They can correlate. They can completely
live equilibriumly.
Simultaneously live together. So, I love y'all and think y'all ain't shit at the same time, but it's still love. So, but outside of that too, just over the year, everyone has the insecurities, but I felt like I've been in my mind a lot about it and feeling insecure about certain things that I'm like, you've never really been insecure in that way. Mm-hmm. So I just felt like my mind was getting very negative. Even winter, I get like, in kind of a seasonal depression. And then coronavirus and everything with that happening, just kind of going into a darker place. And like, I specifically live in the sunroom in my house because I love the sun and I know how much the sun heals me, makes me feel better. And it helps with when I get into like these depressions. So that's why I chose to be in the sunroom. So like anything that's really attracted to the sun or to the earth has really been for me.
Okay.
And being also a Virgo, grounding is very big for us. We are earth sign, and I've learned that grounding is something that's, I've mentioned it before, grounding is something that's very big for me. It centers me. So when I went shopping, I guess I'll list like the different groupings I have, and then we can kind of like jump back and forth on like different ones.
Yeah, definitely.
But this set right here is Grounded in Love. Let me make sure, So Grounded in Love, there's a rose quartz, a clear quartz, and a snowflake obsidian. So Grounded in Love crystals were basically not just for love and wanting somebody or whatever, because
or whatever.
Because I'm big on honestly just being very supportive, self-love first, but giving love to other people, not just for a special someone, but in general. So with the Grounded in Love crystals, they're about forgiveness, compassion. Well, speaking specifically to rose quartz, it's about forgiveness, compassion, and unconditional love. Clear quartz is soul cleansing, energizing, and purifying. And then the snowflake obsidian is to shield against negative energy, hope in times of darkness, and a grounding stone. So
that's you.
Yeah. So in terms of like buying the Grounded in Love crystals, just in the name Grounded in Love was big for me when I saw it. So I was like, I gotta buy this. You know what I mean? This feels like this is where I was at, like all the things that I didn't want in my life and what I needed to heal or work through. So I went for that set. And that's probably been my favorite, to be honest. I carry that one around with me. And then I have this set right here that's actually for joy. And it's another clear quartz, rose quartz. And this one is citrine. Yeah, it is. So this is for joy. So I carry these two sets in my purse. And I just carry them because I feel like, those are the things I've really been reaching for and wanting, and want to keep an open mind, positivity. So those are that for me. I can go through each one, but I want you to jump in before I really go into
Yeah.
it.
I like how you said these are the things that I'm reaching for.
Yeah.
You know, I really like how you said that.
Yeah. Thank you. I'll be trying.
I'll say that these over here were stones and crystal that I got in different sessions, if that makes sense. And I think that most of the time when you get a crystal or a stone and you buy it, it's because you're resonating with it and because you really, really need it.
Yeah.
And so, where's my notebook? So one of the things that I did, because I want to start off by saying, like, I am not a professional in this.
Me neither. I can't even say half the words.
We are not professionals. We do not know it all. And even with the grouping that I do have and that we have, I will say that, like, I don't fully know the properties and everything that it goes with. But at the moment, I resonated with it very strongly and knew that I wanted or needed that in my life.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that I would do anytime that I would buy the crystal or the stones is that I would like trace them and then put the name and like the properties that it has, just because you would go into the store and you would buy it, but then when you get home you'd be like,
what is this?
Which one is this one again? So I would basically like trace it so that if I ever forgot the name of it, I would just be like, oh, okay, you know, this is giving me this kind of vibe right here, I think. So so it's definitely this one. But I'm a visual person, as you can tell. And so this was the first set that I got. And then the next time I went, I did it again and got this set. And the first set that I got was very for rejuvenating. And one of the things that I really, really liked and caught my attention at the beginning was this one, which is a blue howlite. And this one, I wanted it because I'm a very, like, everything happens for a reason and there's always intention behind things. And so I'm a very big dreamer. And this, I would put it under my bed or under my pillow specifically when I would sleep, and it would help with recalling my dreams, or at least because I set the intention when I went to sleep. I think I did a better job of recalling my dreams. And so recalling my dreams and accessing insight, which again, as someone who believes everything happens for a reason, like if someone tells me, oh my gosh, I dreamed about A, B, and C, I'm just like, what does that mean?
Right.
Why did that happen to you? Have you been going through something that has to do with this relation? Or if I'm dreaming about somebody, the next day I'll call them, or I'll email them, or I'll text them to be like, you know what's going on? You know, how are you doing? And then be like, this is what happened in my dream. Let's see if this correlates or, you know, has something to do with something. And so then with this one right here, let me make sure I got the right one. Chrysanthemum stone. The reason why I got this one is and I ended up turning this into a necklace. So for maybe like a whole year, I had used wiring and turned this into a necklace and would carry this around me for a long time. One, I got this because there's a book, a children's book called Chrysanthemum that I read when I was a little girl all the time. And so it reminded me of my childhood, but it also reminded me because it's for grounding, prosperity, discovering, and achieving your soul's purpose. And I feel like as a Sag with adventure and like trying to understand why, I'm always going to be reaching for achieving my soul's purpose. And so this was definitely one that I would carry around with me a lot.
I like that one.
Yeah.
I like the first one too, and that's the one that keeps catching my eye because of the color.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. But those are the two that I used to really pay attention to when I first started. And I will say Rose Court was also another one, but I lost it. I had it as a necklace as well, and I unfortunately lost it. And so I don't know if it meant that like I reached the type of love that I wanted at that moment, or I don't know. But like there was a point in time in my life where like I fully loved myself and the people around me, and also knew I had such love for life in the sense that like I knew everything was going to happen for a reason, and so even the negative things that were happening, I was not worried because of the love of like everything will work out on its own. And then I lost it, so I was like, I don't know if like I mastered that at that moment, and so
I've done my job, so
yeah, basically. But I definitely need it again, so that's why it's there.
Yay. So you have one, I have two, and I tried my best when I bought the sets not to buy like duplicates.
Yeah.
But still had a way of making sure I got 2 clear quartz and 2 rose quartz. So I guess it's more, I literally put them in my notes, started like filtering through, and I still missed it. And honestly, I just feel like you can never have enough. So with the 2, it's times 2 and more power to give me all the greatness that is of the rose and the clear quartz. And so I talked about these 2 groups, and then I have a few other ones. So like you talked about how I give you the one for Sagittarius.
Yeah.
So I got one that's for Virgo because that's who I am. And, you know, fabulous. Which also comes with the cleansing selenite. And then I got this set right here, which I'll turn, I guess. It has like darker colors, purples and blues, and it's actually for nightmares. So I went for a while during like the start of quarantine, maybe even a little before, but mostly during quarantine, having really bad nightmares and having like very different nightmares. It got to a point that I was like every night having nightmares that I don't typically do, or I don't typically remember my dreams unless they're nightmares. Yeah. So I would remember them even after I woke up. I'd have days that I'd wake up like, what is going on? Days that I'd wake up sweating, and then have days that I'd wake up like, oh my goodness, thank goodness that was only a nightmare. Like, I couldn't fathom that being reality. Jeez. So when I was going for the stones and the crystals, like when I saw there was one for nightmares, I said, word, these are going to be sleeping with me. I got a big old bed, so they lay right next to me, try to help me out. And, you know, my nightmares have subsided, and I'll attest them to the stones and the crystals, but also to the fact that I feel like things started opening up, being around more people. And like you were saying, it's more, I feel like with the crystals and the energies that they have, also a state of mind and kind of how you start feeling about things. I don't want to call it placebo effect, but kind of, I think your mind just takes them in with the intention of what you want from them. Yeah. And you start manifesting that. Basically. And I feel like that's what it's been with the nightmares. And then I have this set over here that has a lot of greens. I love it. This one, it's like different textural greens, but then different shades of green. This one has sparkles in it, kind of. Does it? Yeah, it does. Yeah. And this one's actually for the heart chakra. So I was very big on my heart. Heart is all up in that first one. This is the heart one. A lot because I've always been big on being a good person. I always believe that I have my sarcasm and stuff, but my truest intentions with everyone is always to be good to people, treat people well. And that's really the biggest purpose for me in my life. Being a good person to people and not being, you know, someone that brings any kind of negativity to people. And when I started getting into like these darker mindsets, I noticed that like I can make my sarcasm, make my jokes, but sometimes I felt like I was a little too harsh. And I just felt like, you know, kind of stepping away from me being funny to me being mean. And I'm like, I get my jokes can be sarcastic, but I don't want to be an asshole either. Unless you deserve it. But no, really, my truest intentions and what I believe in is being a good person. Like, that's the biggest purpose for me out of anything I can do on this earth, is being known as a good person. So when I felt like I was getting into this darker place, I felt like that's something I needed to open up or work on my heart chakra, because I feel like it was closing off, and it was just not for other people but for myself, and I just needed to find this love and happiness within me that I haven't felt, or I started feeling like I was losing. So before I got into a really dark place, I tried to do different things, including getting the crystals and the stones, to help me. And so for the heart chakra ones, there's a lot in here. But instead of me going through it all, and funny enough, there's another rose quartz in it. I swear, I was really not trying to, but rose quartz has been legit it. I think it's this one, but it's rough. Yeah, a rough rose quartz. So I have 3. Unintended, but intentional. The universe knew what it was doing.
It really did.
It really did. It knew what I needed, but I was also looking for it. So it was like, while you're looking, we just want to make sure we give you 3 because apparently you are that dark that you need 3. But anyway, it wasn't that bad, but I knew what I needed. So for the crystals for heart chakra in my cute little notebook, I also got. It says gratitude turns. Let me start that over. Gratitude turns what we have into enough. And that's something I like to believe in, like what we have. Like there's always working towards doing more, but knowing that what I have is enough, and I'm blessed to have a roof over my head, a job, food, oxygen, people that love me, and just being grateful for what I do have, and that I know I'm in an amazing place in my life that I shouldn't or don't want to take anything for granted. But back to the heart chakra crystals. It's a long list of things, but a few things that it's supposed to help with is love for oneself and others, relating in relationships, compassion and empathy, which is big for me, forgiveness and acceptance, which is something that I needed for a little while, just accepting things that are the way they are and just being forgiving and letting things go. Because I like to be a forgiving person, but I went through a phase where I just was like, I'm tired of being so forgiving. People don't forgiving. People don't deserve all of this. Yep. And I got to a point that I was like, I need to be that. Like, I'm putting all this weight on me, and they're still living their lives. So, transformation and change. Yeah. Ability to grieve and reach peace. Compassion, discernment. Center of awareness, and integration of insights. So that's the heart chakra one, and it's a list. All of them have their own little reasonings behind what they do and how they help me. But I'm not going to even go through that whole list there, because honestly, ultimately, it's for the heart chakra and just improving on all the things I did say. And I can say my life lately has been great.
It really has.
It really has been great. I've been so much happier. Yeah.
I'm a fly on the wall, and I've been enjoying every second.
Yeah, she be knowing everything. I be telling her everything. So, yeah, they've been really big for me. These guys right here. This little placement right here has been it.
Yeah.
You guys get center stage. How about that? You guys get to appear better. There we go.
I don't know if you intentionally put those there on purpose together, but the fact that, like, okay, good, because it literally is like, all of it together is love, is heart, it's caring for yourself.
Yes. I'm very big on that, and it's been, my life has been great. So crystals and stones, y'all been doing some work,
but more importantly, you have been doing the work too.
I got that. That's true.
Because I love the energy that you have been giving. Not saying that you haven't been giving energy before at all, but just more your intentionality of allowing change and allowing and being open-minded to what the universe has been putting in front of you.
Yeah. Open-minded is big for me, I guess. I like to be so open-minded with people, but not myself. Yes, we know this. I can like to be a perfectionist, and I can be hard on myself. I can, like most people, we hold ourselves to a certain standard.
Yeah.
And I can hold myself very highly sometimes, and I had to allow myself, especially with this year, to just exist.
I like that.
And be grateful for existing, and understanding that there's a lot going on, but we need to work on ourselves and our minds and our hearts and our everything. Because again, like I said, I was getting to a dark place, and it started translating to people. And that's the last thing I want. So if I'm not feeling great, other people are not going to feel great, because I'm going to project that out. Yeah. No matter when people say don't put your emotions on other people, you can't help yourself. Your body's going to react the way it reacts to how you're feeling. And if you're not working through it, working on yourself, it's going to come out. it's going to come out regardless in different ways. And I just don't want to be an ugly person.
It's interesting that you're saying this because just the way that you've been like speaking thus far, I hear a lot of, you know, once it got to other people, that's when I started to listen to.
Yeah.
You know, rather than it's more of like, I know that something's going on with me, and I need to work on that, but more of like, I see it, other people are now seeing it, so now I'm going to look at it.
Right.
I find that interesting.
Yeah, I think for me, it's like, again, holding myself to a certain standard and getting into a dark place. You are in a dark place, right?
Yeah.
We all have our bad times, and when you're there, you're just there.
Yeah.
So your mindset is negative. Your mindset's bad. So like, while I'm there, I'm just in the negative place. So am I thinking too much of like how I need to get out of this? Sometimes, but did I put in the work so much? Not all the time, just because I'm like, you do the things like, I'm strong, I can get through this, keep it pushing instead of really sitting with yourself sometimes.
Yeah.
And when I started seeing it come out and me being perceived as something that I know I'm not, that's when I was like, well, this is not me. So I need to work on how I'm feeling, because I don't want people to feel like I'm this other person, because I'm not. I'm going through a bad phase, but I don't want you to perceive that bad phase as who I am.
My definition.
Yeah, absolutely not me. So I had to sit with myself, work with myself, still always working on myself.
We're always growing.
Yep. So that was something that was big for me through this time. And yes, as it started hitting other people, not so much because I'm like, I don't want to hurt people, which I don't.
Yeah.
But the fact that it was coming outward, it was like, okay, this is not controlled.
Yeah.
Like I like control.
Yeah.
So once I notice that I'm losing my control over it, and I can't just keep it to myself, I needed to work on it. So
two things are popping up to me while you're having this conversation. Well, while you're speaking, is one, control, and two, the difference between saying I'm pushing through and actually acknowledging and working through that.
Right.
Because I think that it's the same concept of like, it's easier said than done.
Yeah.
And you can say and you can speak on like, you know, this is what I need to work on, and have conversations with people about, oh, this is what I want to do. This is the qualities that I want to work on. But if you're not internally actually sitting down with those thoughts, finding the root of it, acknowledging where it's coming from, and like even going as far as to like speaking to your inner child, if it means that's what you need to do, to actually heal and work on some of these problems that like might feel surface level, but actually have like something deeper in there. And so I like how you mentioned how it's just like, we can say these things, but if we're not actually putting in the work, it's a whole different story.
Right.
And it sounds like you put in work.
I think we had no choice. I think all of us as people with COVID and being stuck at home and having to be home and just experiencing life that way, but experiencing so much loss of life and so many people around you losing lives, or people you know that have lost someone, and then just not only losing someone and people losing people, but not being able to celebrate their life and still having to be away from people. And then just thinking of different circumstances of people I know that had COVID, and while they had COVID, they had to be away from their families, and thinking about how like that separation is. So just being and understanding the gratefulness of me having my life and the people around me being healthy, but also just we were all stuck with these dark things happening. So I think we're all gonna leave this year in a different mindset, and I hope for us it's for the better. I know it's a very hard time, it's a very scarring time, so it's very understandable if people are traumatized. We should be, because this is traumatizing, but just hoping that we're working on ourselves to leave this okay. Because at this point I'm not saying leave great, because this year has been hard, but I want us to be okay, so then we can work on being better and doing better and feeling better. I like it. My other concept, which was I said what you think versus actually do. Oh, and control. Yes. Which brings a good point where it's like, you know,
when you say and speak on, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to work on, but you're not actually doing it, but rather suppressing it, like it's going to come out in ways that you don't want it to come out.
Yeah.
I speak for myself. Like wanting, keeping your thoughts, keeping your anger, keeping your traumas, keeping that negativity in your body because you want to control the outlook and want to control everything is only going to make you burst quicker and burst in such a way that you are not going to understand how it's coming out, nor might you realize what's going on in that process. And so when you said control, I was like, yes, because knowing me, because I too have controlling qualities, like I like to control my emotions a lot as well, and also like to suppress for the betterment of the other person. And so even doing that is suppressing your emotions because you're not even fully being yourself and fully acknowledging the emotions and feelings that are going on. And it ain't cute when it comes out. And you guys probably also have felt it because this is not like a new thing.
And you saying that in the control thing and that being a big thing we do have in common, I've seen you also work through it. We've been working over here on ourselves. We've been working hard at work. We still have our full-time jobs. I have a part-time too, and then this is another part-time job that we have.
Seriously?
So we do work a lot, and I just appreciate the emphasis we've been putting on still working on ourselves.
Yeah.
And I know you've been putting in that work yourself and kind of stepping outside of yourself a little bit to kind of see or kind of help clarify why certain emotions you have are bursting, and kind of understanding that I need to sit with myself. And I think we're growing up, Eerees.
Girl, we grown ass women. So if we ain't growing up, we never will.
I mean, I'm growing. We're growing.
Yeah, we really are though.
I think it's a difference of like not only just being grown women, but we were also raised by a lot of people that also had to do their own healing in their own different ways, and getting to the point in our lives where I'm understanding why certain things happened when I was younger.
Yeah.
I don't agree, but I understand that you also had your traumas and your issues you didn't get to work through because you had to work on raising
a family,
people, raising a family and working, and getting to the point that now you're working and trying to do more and do better, like us at the point that we are at. I mean, we work a full-time job. I can't even imagine having a full-time job and then having a full-time family. Child. Okay. So just knowing that I'm understanding a lot of the aspects of what I've gone through, and even you, when we've talked about, we're kind of understanding things that we've gone through and learning to accept and forgive.
Yes. But not forget.
Not forget, but understanding what it was.
Yeah, but
and what it is. Yeah. So not forgetting it, but changing perspective, maybe.
Yes.
And then growing into understanding now that we're at this age, what do we want? What are our goals? But also being like, they weren't allowing themselves time to be and heal, that we know of course.
Yeah.
And understanding that as we grow and as we learn and really get into mental health and how it's taboo in our cultures, and it's something that our generation, as generations are going, are trying to break down and make it normal and a thing to people understand that your mental health is just as valuable as the health of your body and the health of.
It's actually more important.
Exactly, because if your mind ain't right, you ain't gonna be focused on doing anything else right.
Yeah.
So growing and understanding that we do have to listen to our bodies, listen to ourselves, but also our minds and our emotions, and knowing that, like, you know, this world is an interesting place.
That's all.
It's
something else,
you know. And as time goes, and this year in itself, with everything that's happened this year, with COVID, with the police brutality kind of uprising, and then the person that's in the White House right now, just existing, it's just like all of this. It's a whirlwind of a lot, and I couldn't even imagine like everything that everyone just goes through so much that we don't even know. I'm just speaking for what I know for myself, and we just got to keep working on ourselves and our mindset and do better. It's a cycle.
It's a cycle, but I think that going back to the crystals, I think that because we know a lot is going on, and because we know that there's a lot that we need to work on internally, and then also a lot that we need to understand in the sense, like, I like how you mentioned, we are working from a past of people that might have not even healed yet, and they're older than us, and so understanding that, like, we are in a generation where we're thinking about that more, and we're really trying to have those discussions with ourselves and with the people around us. This is a form that can help, and that opens up that conversation internally, because I think that regardless, the crystals and the stones are conversations that you need to be having with yourself internally about your emotions.
Exactly.
And so just thinking about, the crystals are here, they're cute, but the larger picture is just that conversation of internal healing and internal reflection and conversation with yourself, specifically during a time where there's so much going on, and so we are constantly being challenged, being given different things that we shouldn't be going through, and so there's even more trauma on top of everything else that we have, and I'm a big believer of generational trauma. So just like thinking about that is crazy.
And I guess you're right about the sense of, like, these are a representation of what even me speaking on them, of what I wanted and what I was seeking or what I knew that I needed to work on. So in doing the research and looking for them and reading into certain things that I felt like I need this in my life, or I want to work on this in my life, and it put it in my face. It gave it a visual. It gave it, it's something that exists that I can go to and be like, I want to be grounded, and I'm feeling that I'm not grounding, or I'm not grounded, and knowing that, like, this is a representation of that, and this is what it's supposed to help me with. And knowing that these crystals all have their meanings and their and what they give off to us, the energies that they're supposed to feed into us, and knowing that you're seeking something, you're researching something, and it's on your mind, so that means you're working on it.
Yes.
You're alert to it.
Yes.
You know that it's there, and that's pretty much the first step in healing, is knowing what's in you and what you need to work on.
Getting to the root, the core.
And once you find the core, you know that you need to work on it. It's present, it's apparent, and now you know that you need to do the work, and you start doing the work. It gives it a name.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely gives it a name. And just the same way that you've been saying, like, it's on your mind constantly. One of the things that I do, and one of the things that I did was write it down, the crystal information, but then also reflect on them in the evening. So, there was a point in time, I should get back to this, but I would sit with the crystal or the stone, knowing the properties that it has, but also thinking about it in terms of me, and I would write. I would reflect on it. I would journal. I'm a huge journaler, and again, because writing things down, I love putting pen to paper, and just putting pen to paper and writing, just because I am allowing my hand and my mind to speak for itself, rather than me trying to be specific about what I want to do, and then write something that's related to the crystal that I'm meditating with, and just sit down with it and allow the pen and paper to speak, and then go back to read it, because sometimes when I'm not paying attention to what I'm writing, that's when I feel that my subconscious is really coming out and speaking for itself, rather than my conscious mind. And there's always room for awareness and awakening through reflection. So journaling definitely is something that I use when it comes to crystals, but then also what I use on my own. And I've definitely been using my morning to wake up early and sit on my hammock and just reflect, because this is the time to grow, and I need to.
I mean, we're always growing, so I feel that. And like you're saying, this is just all the process of us really working on ourselves.
Yes.
And I'm gonna go and I'm gonna just basically show my favorite, which I already did.
Okay.
So the Snowflake Obsidian is my favorite. It's the one that I always go back to. It's literally the smallest one I got, which is funny because I was like, I felt away that it was so small. I did, because I'm like, damn,
it's not powerful enough.
You couldn't send me a bigger piece, like. That's how I felt at first, but I was like, don't be ungrateful. I'm not ungrateful. It's still beautiful, and still
you learn to love it.
One, I already loved it, but
yeah.
We can never have enough. It can never be good enough, right?
Yeah.
But it is definitely my favorite, and with its definition of like shielding against negative energy, hope in times of darkness, and a grounding stone, it's definitely big on who I am and trying to stay positive, keep the negativity away, always grounding. And I have my dark time, so that hope is also a lovely, lovely thing to have. So this one's my favorite. You can probably not see it because it's small, but it's still very, very pertinent and powerful. So
small things have.
Go ahead. Small things what?
You know what? I'm gonna go on to my favorite.
We could have had a whole other conversation, but that's obviously irrelevant to all of this. Heart chakra is so open and I have love for everyone.
So I think that, again, speaking on crystals, but also what we put the power to, or what we give power to, I'm gonna actually not call on a crystal, but call on a butterfly. And I'm going to share a story with you guys.
Right.
So again, just the power that you give it. And I am trying to rechannel the power that I used to give the symbol of a butterfly. And there's this random story. This is my conspiracy theory. Definitely don't make fun of me. Y'all don't make fun of me either. But the butterfly is a sense of transformation, blossoming, of growth, and just that whole progression to something amazing, something beautiful, something that you didn't realize. And so one of the people that were called butterflies, las mariposas, mirabales, were in Dominican Republic, four sisters that lived during the time of Trujillo's dictatorship. And this was during a time when the ruler, dictator in Dominican Republic was a white man who was killing off Black people, basically, Haitians to be specific. And we're bringing in Jewish people into the Dominican Republic as a way to cleanse the race and to cleanse the people in Dominican Republic. And so one of the things that the Mirabal sisters did was just be a part of the revolt against him and help out with not allowing his reign to continue. And one of the things that he did is that he basically understood the power that these women had in revolutionizing the people in Dominican Republic to put a stop to him. And he ended up killing them off and turning them into martyrs. But he ended up killing them off. And it just so happened that they were killed on November 25th. And November 25th happens to be my birthday. And so I always resonate with the Mirabal sisters in the sense of like, they died, but someone else is here to continue whatever type of revolution that I need to, continue. And so this is me, and this is the butterflies that I give power to hopefully like figure out my life purpose and do whatever amazing thing that I'm here to do on this earth.
Right.
Yeah.
Why would someone make fun of that?
Because it's just weird.
It's like not weird at all. It's actually very deep, historical, which is very you. Yeah. And very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing to make fun of. Can you imagine someone laughing at you after you tell that story? How rude.
I feel like I can see a couple of people.
Could you? Well, they're haters. And if they're not haters, because they're people in your life that you care about, they're haters.
Yeah.
Still. No, but you always have been big on butterflies. You have them everywhere.
And that's the reason why.
Yeah. But you said that you wanted like to change the power you give towards it. Why?
I think that I had forgotten this story, and I had forgotten what that meant for me, if that makes sense.
Alrighty. And then you're kind of coming back to it?
I am. Yeah.
Iris is like the coolest person ever.
You are too.
People be hating whatever. I don't think anyone, people don't really hate on Iris. And if you do, it's because you hate yourself.
Damn. Jeez.
I'm just saying. For those who know Iris, I don't think it's even possible. Anywho.
Thank you.
This was fun.
Yeah.
I don't have so much more to say just because I'm not a guru, so I don't want to spread information I have no clue on. Just more talking about the conversations from our souls and how the crystals have resonated for us and been a part of our lives, and how it's become something in my life that's definitely helped me. And I feel like I'm in a place right now where I'm like, damn, these crystals really put in work.
They doing what they gotta do.
They're doing the work, but I'm really doing the work. And I feel great.
Likewise.
So, in terms of crystals and, conversations from the soul and moving into stepping into you a little bit.
Yeah, I think we've been talking a lot about how we've been slowly stepping into ourselves. And I think that for stepping into you, I wasn't really thinking about it, but I will wrap something up for us. And just think about more of like, I think the important part of this is the power we give things, the power that we are channeling through the item that we have, through the healing that we want to do, through the process that we have. And so stepping into ourselves can be a sense of I've been asking y'all to do reflecting. I've been asking y'all to, send us pictures of your curly hair to embrace your beautiful self. And we got a lot of pictures. But just really thinking about, through all of these crystals, there were words that we had in mind. There were words that we had in mind that either we wanted or that we needed to work on. And so if you don't have crystals, I think that this activity you can still work on, in the sense of, okay, if you had to really sit down with yourself and your thoughts and think about, okay, if I had a crystal in mind, what properties would I want it to have? And even you right now, where it's like these crystals have been helping and have been helping you transform, is there another word or another theme that comes to mind now that you've progressed this far? Or for y'all, what is something that you do want to work on? What is a quality that you would like to master? What is a behavior that you would like to change? And even as far as like, again, buying or even finding a rock outside, painting it, or at the beach. Yes. And like, if you can't draw on it, you can paint it a certain color, like white, so that you can see once you do write it. But just thinking about what words come to mind when you're speaking on your personal growth and transformation, and why are you choosing it? So if you have the time, please share with us, any transformational words, any behaviors, any whatever it is that you are jotting down of things that you want to pick up, things that you want to work on, or things that you want to remove. Let us know.
And that was great. That I'm just like coming into and then kind of stepping into you and us working on ourselves, and Iris always laying something out for us that's always meant to heal ourselves and do more for ourselves, and kind of leaning into fashion forward. We've kind of been thinking about it, but for me, fashion forward today is kind of thinking about this year and how we've kind of been trapped inside for a while.
Yeah.
And how I did something before about like how I'm gonna dress up when I get to go out and go to brunch.
Yes.
And that was great and all, but right now I'm really thinking about what was your go-to thing to wear at home that you think you overwore.
Okay.
And you wore so much while you were home, if you were wearing clothes, because you know you was home, so even if you were in your birthday suit, that's perfectly fine. But
listen,
thinking about going through this time and being home a lot, what was your go-to? What was your comfort? What was giving you comfort, really?
Yeah.
Kind of also something that helps with your mental health. You wear things that make you comfortable, or you want to be in a space that you're comfortable.
Yeah.
I can speak to, I have this like satin shorts and tank top set that's like navy blue with like all these flowers on it, and it's the most comfortable thing ever, but it's so cute, and like every time I wear it I'm just like, I'm mad cute and comfortable. And I wore it a lot, and it's in the it's like in my laundry bag right now, and I like need to do my laundry because I want to wear it again. But that's fashion forward for me right now. It's just kind of thinking about what have we been wearing during quarantine, or what do we always go back to wearing all the time that's comfortable? Yeah. Can you think of something? Or like a style, or it's like a specific type of things?
Yeah, actually, I like to wear crop top tees at home, and I actually like to cut t-shirts that were t-shirts into crop tops. Just because I don't like wearing revealing clothes, but at home, like, no one's looking for me, no one's looking at me. I can just be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like the shorts, like lightweight shorts, sweatshirt sometimes, even if it's hot. I just turn on the AC and be in my sweatshirt. I don't really care. I'm comfortable. But that is fashion forward with me. And I guess before we step out of it into like resonating with she, or stepping into resonating with she, this is resonating with me.
Yeah.
But I got a lot of t-shirts, or we've been getting in our t-shirt bag, and our black owned pro-black t-shirts about, you know, loving ourselves, doing better, and making change.
Yeah.
And this t-shirt I got from Legendary Roots. I got 3 t-shirts. My cart's currently full of other things I want, but this says "Let Black Women Be Unapologetic," which is very, very who I am. I'm grateful to be raised by people that have allowed me to, I was very shy, but they've always been very unapologetic, very straightforward, and I wanted to be everything but that.
Yeah.
Because I would feel weird and uncomfortable, and have learned that through my honesty and straightforwardness, I'm being my truest self, and I'm just unapologetic. It is what it is. If I have things to say, my intent is to use it for good and to use it for the better, and knowing that as a Black woman, that this voice has never shut up when it comes to things that pertain to us and pertain to our lives, pertain to my life. And that's one of the biggest reasons why I'm very proud of being unapologetic, because when it needs to be said, it will be.
Specifically with Daphne. Damn Daph.
So that resonating with me, what's resonating with you?
What is resonating with me?
We need to start like recording those things, so then when we transition, we can just play it.
That will be like the
transition into next segment, resonating with she.
What is resonating with me? I feel like what's resonating with me is finding peace, finding me, going back to, you know, like fully being Eerees, and in such a way that like transcends where I'm at right now. And I think music helps a lot. And so I'll give like a little plug-in of a song as resonating with she. Lately, I've been doing a lot of, yesterday I did a lot of dancing. I did some salsa. I love salsa. And I love salsa with someone who knows how to dance. Because there's a difference between dancing with somebody who just like knows the bare minimum, and then someone that like I can do flips, turns, and all that jazz. And that's another thing. Like, I love dancing so much that I usually am the guy in
the lead.
Yeah, I'm the lead. Yeah, thank you. And so one of the songs that I always go to when it comes to salsa is Llorarás by Oscar de Leon. And then there's another, I hope I'm saying this right because I always mix up the people. There's Llorará and then La Rebelión. And I don't remember who sings that, but there's a couple of people that sing it. But two salsa songs that speak to the history and just the and just life back then of just the whole like Black and classism and just slavery within Dominican Republic, but also just the realness of my culture. And those two songs speak to it in such a beautiful way while you're dancing in such a gorgeous way that I just love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
She definitely does. She's definitely a salsa queen, and every time someone says like, oh, they love salsa, she like her ears are like in the conversation now. And she's like, you love salsa, but like, can you really dance?
Yes.
And she's always that way, and they're just like, yeah, I can dance. She's like, but are you sure
you know how to dance? Because that's the thing.
Because I will know.
Exactly.
Yes, you're very good for that. And I always watching them just like, you don't say you can dance
in front of me.
Yeah, don't.
Yeah,
unless you really are with it, because she's gonna be like, all right, bet,
let's see.
And then when she sees, she's gonna be like, oh, okay, that was cute.
That happened yesterday. There was a
see. She'd be like, oh, cute, you did good. And with Eerees, she'd be like, oh yeah, you did good. But that's it. That's all she's gonna give you.
Ooh, that actually happened. Yes. And that's another thing I love about dancing is that like the comfortability to just do any and everything is so there. So like I would not go to a football game and be like, hey y'all, can I join? But like when it comes to dancing, I would be that quick to be like going to the dance floor to grab somebody to dance, which has hurt me sometimes, but like it's okay.
Right. At least you do that, because I would never. That kind of rejection, I don't know how I'm gonna say it, men do it sometimes. Because I be rejecting sometimes. I be feeling bad because like I don't want to dance, but damn, that must I wouldn't know how to handle that.
Yeah.
But before we leave resonating with she and kind of finishing off the episode, kind of talking about the jewelry you're wearing today, because with us always wearing beads by Troken, we're always wearing nice stones that have different representation and qualities. And we actually asked for the names today of the stones that we're wearing, pertaining to the fact that we're talking crystals and we're talking stones.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go in. I wrote them down because I was like, there's a lot going on. So in terms of the bracelet I'm wearing today, which I love the colors and, my t-shirt and all that. The tan stones are mother of pearl, and then there are two kind of silver stones. So this silver stone, which is silver hematite, and then these are actually hematite as is. That's what it's called. Which I love this bracelet. And then with the earrings, I'm wearing impression jasper stones that are in the earrings. And I love these earrings.
I love her earrings. I'm definitely gonna be buying them. But
that's what's in my set from Beads by Troken. What about you?
Okay, in my set of Beads by Troken, I have hematite as well as green imperial jasper.
No, it's this one.
This one is imperial jasper.
Okay. So
and this one is malachite.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like the one in the earrings.
Yeah.
Oh, see.
And these are...
He said it and then I flipped it. So there you go.
These two right here are also hematite. And so most of the time, Bead by Troken's one of one jewelry does have some type of stones or crystals that are involved in the pieces.
So if you're looking for pieces to carry around with you and not just have stones and crystals carried around, he really knows his stone. He literally was around here like when he came to bring the jewelry, like, I know what this is this is that, and I'm like, oh, all right. What did we call? What was he called again? Zarkitect?
Yes.
Shout out to John John. He came in here, Zar came in there and was just picking out the stones. I was like, wow, you
really know your stuff.
And if you're making jewelry and you're really about it and you know, it's kind of like, okay then, like, you're really about it. So he does great work. He really cares about his art and it's beautiful work. So always check out Beads by Troken, and it's not Zarkitect, because when I said it, I was like, that's so wrong, but I was corrected right now, and it's Archaeologist. Well, he's also a Zarkitect. We'll fit that in somewhere, but Archaeologist is definitely it, and that's what John said. Thank you for correcting me. So on today's episode, Archaeologist appeared and taught us some things.
Yes.
So this was great, as always.
Yeah, it definitely progressed into a beautiful conversation.
From the soul, as always, and that is our intent, is just to be genuinely ourselves and have these conversations from the soul, and hopefully resonating with all of you to kind of come into this conversation to, you know, heal, do better, and be better. So
if you do happen to have crystals, send us a picture and tell us which one you love. We'd love to have that conversation with you. And with this amazing episode, I always end it off with, he can listen, they can listen, but always remember, she is speaking.
And as we are the she's of this episode, I am Daphne Emily.
I am Eerees Iris.
And we are Soulful She. And as I always say, what do I always say? We might be one more drop in the ocean, but we just might be the last sip to quench your thirst.
Ooh, ooh. Thank you, y'all, for your time and your energy. We love you. Thank you.